You think you're out of control. You think life is happening to you instead of for you. You wake up every morning feeling like you're drowning in your own decisions, suffocating under the weight of your own habits, trapped by patterns you swore you'd break 1,000 times before. But I'm here to tell you something that might sting at first, but will set you free if you let it. You're not out of control. You're just undisciplined. And there's a universe of difference between those two things. Control is what happens when discipline meets opportunity. Control is what emerges when you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the architect of your destiny. Control is what you get when you realize that the same power that created your problems can solve them. See, the world wants you to believe you're powerless. They want you to think you're just wired wrong, that you're missing some gene, that you're fundamentally flawed. They want you to accept mediocrity as your ceiling and struggle as your floor. But that's a lie. That's the biggest lie ever told to the human spirit. You have more power in your little finger than most people use in their entire lifetime. You have more potential in your sleeping hours than most people tap into when they're wide awake. You have more control over your destiny than you've ever been taught to believe. But here's the thing about power. It's useless without discipline. It's meaningless without structure. It's dangerous without direction. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Not just how to get control, but how to build the discipline that makes control inevitable. Let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself. When was the last time you did something you didn't want to do because you knew it was right? When was the last time you said no to something you wanted because you knew it would hurt you? When was the last time you chose the harder path because you knew it would make you stronger? If you're struggling to answer those questions, you're not alone. We live in a world that worships instant gratification. We live in a culture that celebrates the easy path. We live in a society that tells you to follow your feelings instead of your principles. But feelings are liars. Emotions are manipulators. Impulses are destroyers. And if you're following them instead of leading them, you're not living your life. You're being lived by it. The average person makes about 35,000 decisions a day. 35,000 opportunities to choose discipline over comfort, growth over ease, purpose over pleasure. But most people sleepwalk through those decisions. They let autopilot take over. They let habit drive the car while their dreams sit in the passenger seat, watching life pass by through the window. But you're not average. You wouldn't be here if you were. You're here because something inside you is screaming for more. Something inside you knows you're capable of better. Something inside you refuses to accept that this is as good as it gets. That something is your spirit calling you to discipline. That something is your potential demanding expression. That something is your future self begging you to make the choices today that will set you free tomorrow. Discipline isn't punishment. Discipline is preparation. Discipline isn't restriction. Discipline is liberation. Discipline isn't about what you can't do. It's about what you choose not to do, so you can do what you were born to do. Every great achievement in human history started with someone saying no to their impulses, so they could say yes to their purpose. Every breakthrough began with someone choosing the disciplined path over the easy one. Every legend was forged in the fire of self-control. And you have that same fire inside you. You have that same potential. You have that same power. But power without discipline is like a car without brakes. It might get you moving, but it won't get you where you want to go. Let me tell you what discipline really is. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes. It's not about becoming some emotionless robot who never feels anything. That's not discipline. That's death. Real discipline is about responsibility. It's about the ability to respond instead of react. It's about the power to choose your actions instead of being chosen by your circumstances. It's about becoming the director of your life instead of just an actor in someone else's play. Discipline has 3 components, and if you master these 3 things, you will master your life. First component, awareness. You cannot control what you cannot see. You cannot change what you will not acknowledge. You cannot overcome what you will not confront. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They wake up, go through the motions, and go to bed without ever really examining their choices. They're like sleepwalkers in their own existence, unconscious of the patterns that are shaping their destiny. But awareness changes everything. When you start paying attention to your thoughts, your habits, your reactions, and your choices, you begin to see the invisible forces that have been controlling your life. You begin to understand why you do what you do, why you think what you think, and why you feel what you feel. And that understanding is the first step toward freedom. Because once you see the pattern, you can break it. Once you understand the program, you can rewrite it. Once you become aware of your unconscious habits, you can make conscious choices. Second component, acceptance. This is where most people get stuck. They become aware of their patterns, but they spend all their energy fighting against them instead of working with them. They waste their power on regret instead of investing it in change. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging where you are so you can get to where you want to be. It means facing your reality without judgment so you can transform it with purpose. You cannot change your past, but you can change your future. You cannot control what happened to you, but you can control what happens through you. You cannot rewrite your history, but you can write your destiny. Third component, action. This is where discipline becomes real. This is where potential becomes power. This is where dreams become reality. Because all the awareness in the world won't change your life if you don't act on it. All the acceptance in the world won't set you free if you don't use it as a foundation for change. Action is where discipline gets tested. It's easy to want to change when you're motivated. It's easy to make resolutions when you're inspired. But discipline is about taking action when you don't feel like it, when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, when every fiber of your being is screaming for you to quit. Here's something they don't teach you in school. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more you challenge it, the more it adapts. The more you demand from it, the more it delivers. Self-control operates on the same principle. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're strengthening your self-control muscle. Every time you say no to temptation, you're building your willpower reserve. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it, you're training your brain to trust your commitment. But here's the thing most people don't understand. Self-control isn't about white-knuckling your way through life. It's not about using willpower like a sledgehammer. It's about creating systems, structures, and environments that make discipline easier and temptation harder. Think about it this way. If you want to eat healthier, you don't rely on willpower alone. You change your environment. You stock your kitchen with healthy foods. You remove the junk food. You plan your meals. You prepare your snacks. You create a system that supports your goals instead of sabotaging them. If you want to wake up earlier, you don't just try harder. You change your bedtime routine. You put your alarm across the room. You lay out your clothes the night before. You create a morning routine that excites you. You design your environment to make success inevitable. This is the secret that successful people know but rarely talk about. They don't have more willpower than you. They have better systems. They don't have more discipline than you. They have smarter strategies. They don't have more self-control than you. They have more intentional environments. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Your systems are more powerful than your motivation. Your habits are more reliable than your feelings. And when you understand this, you stop trying to muscle your way through life and start engineering your way to success. But here's where it gets interesting. The more you use these systems, the stronger your actual willpower becomes. The more you practice discipline in small things, the easier it becomes to practice it in big things. The more you train your self-control muscle, the more natural self-control becomes. It's like compound interest, but for your character. Every disciplined choice you make doesn't just affect that moment. It affects every moment that comes after. Every act of self-control doesn't just change that situation. It changes who you become. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine two people starting at the exact same place. Same background, same opportunities, same challenges, same potential. The only difference is their daily choices. Person A makes choices that are just 1% better each day. They wake up 15 minutes earlier. They read 10 pages instead of scrolling social media. They choose the salad over the burger. They go to bed 30 minutes earlier. They exercise for 20 minutes instead of watching TV. Small choices, barely noticeable, seemingly insignificant. Person B makes choices that are just 1% worse each day. They hit snooze one more time. They skip their workout. They eat the convenient food instead of the healthy food. They stay up later, watching shows. They choose comfort over growth. Small choices, barely noticeable, seemingly insignificant. After one day, the difference is almost nothing. After 1 week, still barely noticeable. After 1 month, you might see a slight difference. But after 1 year, after 5 years, after 10 years, the compound effect of those 1% choices creates two completely different lives. This is the power of discipline. It's not about making perfect choices. It's about making slightly better choices consistently. It's not about being superhuman. It's about being slightly more human than you were yesterday. But here's what most people don't understand. The compound effect works both ways. Positive choices compound into positive results. Negative choices compound into negative consequences. Discipline compounds into freedom. Lack of discipline compounds into bondage. Every time you choose discipline, you're not just making that choice. You're making it easier to make that choice tomorrow. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're not just making that choice. You're making it harder to choose growth tomorrow. This is why small changes create massive results. This is why tiny adjustments transform entire lives. This is why the person who changes their daily routine changes their destiny. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You don't need to become perfect tomorrow. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to change one thing. One habit, one choice, one decision. And then let the compound effect do its work. Start with your morning. How you start your day determines how you live your day. If you start with discipline, you'll live with discipline. If you start with intention, you'll live with intention. If you start with purpose, you'll live with purpose. Create a morning routine that serves your goals instead of sabotaging them. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. And it has to be yours. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's meditating for 10 minutes. Maybe it's reading instead of scrolling. Maybe it's exercising instead of rushing. Maybe it's eating breakfast instead of skipping it. Maybe it's writing down your goals instead of hoping you'll remember them. Whatever it is, make it non-negotiable. Make it sacred. Make it yours. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you can win the morning, you can win the day. If you can win the day, you can win the week. If you can win the week, you can win the month. If you can win the month, you can win the year. If you can win the year, you can win your life. Now let's get practical. Let's talk about how to build discipline in the real world. With real challenges, with real limitations, with real life happening all around you. First principle, start ridiculously small. I mean, embarrassingly small. If you want to start exercising, don't commit to an hour at the gym. Commit to putting on your workout clothes. If you want to start reading, don't commit to a book a week. Commit to reading 1 page. If you want to start eating healthier, don't commit to a complete diet overhaul. Commit to drinking 1 glass of water when you wake up. Why? Because the goal isn't the action itself. The goal is to build the habit of keeping promises to yourself. The goal is to train your brain to trust your commitment. The goal is to create momentum that will carry you to bigger things. Second principle, stack your habits. Instead of trying to create new habits from scratch, attach them to habits you already have. If you already brush your teeth every morning, add 1 push-up after brushing your teeth. If you already drink coffee every morning, add 5 minutes of reading while you drink your coffee. If you already check your phone when you wake up, add 3 deep breaths before you check your phone. This works because your brain loves patterns. It loves routine. It loves efficiency. And when you stack new habits onto existing ones, you're working with your brain instead of against it. Third principle, design your environment for success. Your environment is your invisible hand, guiding your decisions without you even realizing it. If you want to eat healthier, put healthy food at eye level in your refrigerator. If you want to read more, put books on your nightstand instead of your phone. If you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Make good choices easier and bad choices harder. Remove friction from the behaviors you want and add friction to the behaviors you don't want. Design your world to support your goals instead of sabotaging them. Fourth principle, track your progress. What gets measured gets managed. What gets tracked gets improved. What gets recorded gets repeated. You cannot improve what you do not measure, and you cannot sustain what you do not track. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as marking an X on a calendar every day you complete your habit. It can be as basic as writing down your wins in a journal. It can be as straightforward as taking a photo of your progress. The key is consistency. Track every day. Measure every day. Record every day. Not because you're obsessed with perfection, but because you're committed to progress. Fifth principle, celebrate small wins. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, acknowledge it. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, celebrate it. Every time you do what you said you would do, honor it. This isn't about being self-congratulatory. It's about training your brain to associate discipline with positive feelings. It's about creating a reward system that reinforces the behavior you want. It's about making discipline feel good instead of feeling like punishment. Your brain is always looking for patterns. It's always trying to predict what will bring pleasure and what will bring pain. If you associate discipline with pain, your brain will resist it. If you associate discipline with pleasure, your brain will seek it. Here's what I want you to understand. You are not broken. You are not flawed. You are not missing some essential piece that other people have. You are not condemned to live a life of mediocrity. You are not destined to struggle forever. You are powerful beyond measure. You are capable beyond imagination. You are designed for greatness. You are built for success. You are created for victory. But that power, that capability, that greatness, that success, that victory, it's all locked behind one door. And that door is discipline. Discipline is not your enemy. Discipline is your liberator. Discipline is not your burden. Discipline is your wings. Discipline is not what holds you back. Discipline is what sets you free. Every person who has ever achieved anything significant had to walk through the door of discipline. Every breakthrough, every victory, every transformation, every success story, they all have one thing in common. Someone chose discipline over comfort, growth over ease, purpose over pleasure. And that someone can be you, that someone should be you, that someone will be you if you make the choice to start today. You have everything you need inside you right now. You have the power to change your life. You have the ability to transform your circumstances. You have the strength to overcome your challenges. You have the wisdom to make better choices. You have the courage to take the first step. The question is not whether you can do it. The question is whether you will do it. The question is not whether you're capable. The question is whether you're willing. The question is not whether you have what it takes. The question is whether you'll use what you have. Your future self is waiting for you to make the choice. Your dreams are waiting for you to pay the price. Your potential is waiting for you to take action. Your destiny is waiting for you to claim it. But it all starts with discipline. It all starts with that first small choice. It all starts with that first step. It all starts with that decision to stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the architect of your destiny. You're not out of control. You're just undisciplined. But that can change. That will change. That must change. Because you are meant for more. You are designed for better. You are created for greatness. And greatness is not a destination. It's a daily choice. It's a moment-by-moment decision. It's a habit of thinking, feeling, and acting in alignment with your highest values and deepest purposes. So choose a discipline. Choose growth. Choose discomfort. Choose the harder path. Choose to become the person you were meant to be. Choose to live the life you were meant to live. Choose to fulfill the purpose you were meant to fulfill. The time is now. The opportunity is here. The choice is yours. What will you choose? Remember, you're not out of control. You're just undisciplined. But that can change. Starting today, starting right now, starting with your next choice. Make it count. Make it matter. Make it the beginning of the rest of your transformed life. Your future self is counting on you. Don't let them down. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The transformation of a lifetime begins with a single choice. The discipline of a champion begins with a single decision. You have the power. You have the ability. You have what it takes. Now go out there and prove it to yourself. One choice at a time. One day at a time. One moment at a time. You've got this. Because you're not out of control. You're just undisciplined. But that can change. And it starts now.